This video is about how Valve is squeezing CSGO's skins market, probably by complete accident, and while it's taken almost a year, the results are starting to flow in, and it's at the point where it's interesting enough that I want to talk about it, and why Valve may have unintentionally done something that is probably really good for the game. Now, this video is sponsored by SkinsMonkey, the easy to use site where you can instantly trade your CSGO skins. All you have to do is log in through Steam and add your trade link, and you'll instantly be able to trade your skins. It's really simple to do, you just got to click on the skins you want and select trade. This will give you a trade offer, and from that you can get your skins. You can also deposit money directly onto the site, and any extra funds left over from a trade will also get added to your balance. Sign up today and you'll get up to $5 for free when you use the code Heyzeus, and they're so generous the code even works for me apparently. Anyway, check it out, link is in the description. So I want to start by saying, this video is my analysis of the data as I see it. There is no divine truth when it comes to skins. I don't have it, the guy on Reddit who invested in a bull market and thinks he's a genius doesn't have it, no one has it. And I want to make that clear at the outset, this video is my interpretation of what's happening. Anyway, let's get on with the video. So, starting at the beginning, in the past, CSGO used to have two separate drop pools for cases. The prime drop pool, which had the most recent cases, and the non-prime drop pool, which had older cases. Basically, the idea was that prime players would get access to newer, more desirable cases, while free-to-play accounts would get older and crappier drops. Now, didn't work that well in practice because often the older drops were actually better, but that was the idea. And either way, the point was that a lot of old cases were being actively dropped for non-prime players. Old cases that contained legendary knife collections like the Spectrums, the Gammas, and the Chromas. But this setup had a little issue. Basically, cheaters were exploiting the out of CSGO's free-to-play system and ruining the game for normal players. So in June 2021, Valve axed it, and as a result, non-prime drops stopped being a thing. Basically, this Thanos snapped half the game's case supply out of existence, and at the time, it wasn't a huge deal. I mean, people panic bought some of the discontinued cases, but it was a blip on the radar, and it was overshadowed by something much bigger going on. Basically, the skin economy would slow down a lot over the next 6 months. There was a big inflated bubble in the middle of 2021 that variously crashed and deflated throughout the year, and it all kind of fizzled out into nothing. People who panic bought got wrecked, you know, the usual stuff, and it seemed like this change hadn't really had an impact. And it hadn't. Yet. But in the background, something was brewing. You see, you're probably aware that people like opening CSGO cases. I mean, here's footage of me opening 100 of them in the background, for example. We'll see if I get anything good. But at a slightly more macro level, people really do like opening cases. I mean, there's this guy on Reddit who keeps track of it, and according to his numbers, we've opened up something like 235 million of them over the past year. And while that number obviously won't be 100% accurate, the point is that it is a hell of a lot of cases. But when you look past the fact that the CSGO player base apparently has a $585 million a year loot box addiction, you might notice something interesting in the numbers breakdown. These discontinued non-prime cases, they're getting opened a lot. I mean, if we focus on the 3 cases here people actually care about, last month, there were 750k Chroma 3 cases opened, 1.13 million Gamma 2 cases opened, and 1.35 million Spectrum 2 cases opened. Now, there is some uncertainty on that last number, but the point is the number is big. And if we go back to May 2021, there were 770,000 Chroma 3 cases opened, 1.6 million Gamma 2 cases opened, and 1.9 million Spectrum 2 cases opened. And I couldn't be bothered going through all the different months here, that's hard, I'm lazy, but the point is that these numbers are consistently huge. People are opening tons and tons of these things, and given they're not dropping anymore, this is going to run down the supply of these cases lying around, and if the supply of these cases is run down, their prices are going to go up. And that's exactly what's been happening. All of these cases, and especially these 3, are now at record prices. And in the case of the Gamma 2 case, it is literally flying towards $1 USD on Steam at the moment. And it seems like this is having a flow-on effect to other cases too. The Dreams and Nightmares case, despite being absolutely hated by the community, has been staying at this weirdly inflated price for months that you don't normally see with new cases. And two of the best actively dropping cases, the Snakebite case and the Clutch case, are also going up in price. It seems like because some of these older cases are more expensive, there's more demand for these newer ones, and that is probably a major factor in why their prices are staying so high. Now, you don't see this as much with cases like the Fracture case or the Prisma 2 case, but that's kind of the point. People care about the golds in these cases. Even though people hate the Dreams and Nightmares case, your average CSGO player still really likes the knives in them and probably doesn't mind opening it. And the Snakebite case and the Clutch case, they both have really good gloves in them too. But the Fracture case and the Prisma 2 case, not so much. But where does this leave these older cases? The Spectrum, Gamma and Chroma cases are some of the most iconic stuff in CSGO. They're literally CSGO's most iconic knives. But if the cases they're in are getting more and more expensive, that's something that's ultimately going to affect their price and the rarity of these knives. Skins get lost over time, and if less and less are getting unboxed and they cost more and more to open, they're gonna become rarer and more expensive. And unless Valve makes a radical change, there's no real diverging from this trajectory. Even if the rate of unboxings drop off, those cases will still be gone forever. Just look at this tweet by Sinclair tracking the number of Spectrum 2 cases listed on the market. While there is some fluctuation, the downward trajectory is unmistakable. The number of these cases left on the market is tiny at this point. And while this is a very different number to the total supply, these are exactly the conditions where prices are going to get forced up. Now, this doesn't mean there aren't going to be short-term rises and falls. In fact, I can guarantee you that there will be. Prices drop most years around the June to August period. This is going to happen this year, or almost certainly going to happen, and these cases are probably going to be affected. And there will be a new operation in the future which will hurt the price of the cases too, short-term anyway. But at the same time, provided CSGO doesn't die, in a few years' time, we're probably going to be looking at a situation where cases that contain famous skins like Karambit and Butterfly Sapphires could be worth as much as $5. And what is a market like that going to look like? If these skins are expensive now, what are they going to be worth at that point? Looking at these numbers, I think it's very likely we're going to see a supply crunch. A lot of CSGO's older cases are going to end up exactly like the Breakout and Glove cases, and you only have to check the prices of some of the items in these cases to realize what that means. Now, in fairness, no one can say for sure where this game will be in 3 years' time. There is too much uncertainty, things can change radically and suddenly, but what is certain is that this kind of development is really good for the game. A CSGO skin doesn't have an underlying value. Its price is based solely on how excited the guy paying for it is. The only variable that can be controlled here is scarcity. Valve can't decide how much a skin is worth, but they can control how rare it is, and by accidentally terminating the supply of some of the most iconic skins in the game, they've inadvertently set themselves up for success. A market like CSGO's works best when people are confident their rare and expensive skins are gonna stay rare and expensive. This is a fundamental pillar holding up the entire skin economy, and also keeping up demand for cases, which in turn funds the entire game. So a massive shortage of these cases is exactly what you want to see, and it's only a good sign for the future of the game. Now, two things. First of all, if you're thinking of investing in these cases after watching this video, be aware that they're probably at a short-term peak in their prices, and this content's not going to help, so again, that's something to be aware of. It's likely we will see a bit of a correction during the sort of drop in prices mid-year, and when the next operation comes out, that tends to hit case prices quite hard. So if you are going to buy them, I would recommend waiting. You're likely to get much better prices in the future. I think they're going to dip over the next 6 months and then pick up again at the end of the year. Just mentioning that. Secondly, did I get anything good from the cases? No, not at all. Doing my part to keep prices up though. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment, and subscribe, massively appreciated. Otherwise, trust the numbers, not your guts. I'm Heyzeus. Thanks for watching. See ya.